Hello, third graders. Today we're going to write our perfect paragraph. We're just going to be writing a draft copy of it, which only means that this is not the final copy at all. You will need a few things to get yourself started. For one, you will need a pencil, and not a color pencil, by the way, and you're going to need your story plan. If you've not done this, you need to go do it. I do not want you to write a straight out of your head paragraph. I want you to write one of these paragraphs. And you will also, of course, that is in your notebook. I'd like you to try and keep it in your notebook. If you're really struggling with it, you need to, you can pull it out, but you'll need to slip it back in. I'm going to share my screen, though, with the external camera so that you can see these things. Another thing that I sometimes like to have is something like a popsicle stick like this, or a spoon works, or other things. If I have a popsicle stick, then I draw a little picture like this on it. I call this my spaceman. My spaceman, because I'm going to make spaces. Now, the other day I started with this plan, which again, if you've not made the plan, you need to stop this video and go back to the earlier video in which I explained the plan. In this week's Canvas, it's posted on Thursday. And I'm going to do a really quick read-through. Bella, that's my dog, and she's a pug. And that's number 1. That's what I see for number 1. And then 2 is the grumpy face and doesn't bark much. I see some 3s over here. She goes on walks. She likes smelly things. And number 4, food. She only seems to want food or water. Oh, here's the other 4. Stares at me. 5, snuggles under my blanket. 6, over here, the blanket. Yeah, oh, she likes warm and sunshine and blankets and fire. Now, I can always make adjustments. Like right here, I notice that she likes to snuggle under my blanket, but over here I also have that she's under my blanket. So I'm going to get rid of one of those before I get started. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing a quick review on this. And in a moment, I'm going to start with this. This is going to be my topic sentence. You remember in the video, the game show video, he said, "Hey, what's your big idea?" Well, this is going to be my big idea, and I'm going to make it really, really simple. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. So now I've opened to my next clean page on here, and I'm in my notebook, and I'm going to write my paragraph. Now, something that I'd like to do before I get started is that I want to go every other line. So I put a little X every other line as far down as I think I'm going to write. I may write further than that, and I can add X's, but I'm only going to write on the lines that have X's. And I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start writing with my topic sentence. Hey, what's your big idea? Now, all I'm going to mention is the thing that's in the center here, and maybe one quick little fact here, but I'm going to really focus on this. So if you're writing about your sister, you might say, I have a sister named Susie. Or if you're writing about your pet chicken, you might say, I have a pet chicken. And that's it. You don't need to put any detail, because the details are going to come from the other parts. But you need to start with, what is your big idea? So I'm going to start with here. Now notice I'm starting on that side of that red line. I have oops, I can use my spaceman in between if I need to. A pug named... Now I don't want to go all the way to the edge of the paper. Remember that. I'm only going to go as far as this red line, and I can go a little bit over. I have a pug named... I'm going to come way back here, and this time I'm going to bump right up against that. Named Bella. And that's the end of my sentence. I'm going to write a period. Now, if you don't need a spaceman, that's fine. But if you can't keep it on the line, and you aren't putting good spaces between words, like I should have made a bigger space here, then use a spaceman. Okay, now I have done this part. I'm going to put an X so that I don't do it again. And I'm going to, she has a grumpy face, but she doesn't bark much. Okay, so I'm not going to write exactly those words. I'm going to change them just a little bit. She may have a grumpy, oops. Now I could have gone to the next line, but I'm not going to do it mid-word. So I don't want it to go all the way to the edge, but I'm not going to go GRU and then break that word. We're not doing that. We're third graders. We don't do that. She may have a grumpy face, but she doesn't bark. I'm very near the edge here, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that. Much. Again, that's the end of my sentence. I know that because I have used my two facts here. And I'm going to do that. Number 2. Number 3. Oh, number 3 says she goes on walks and she loves to go walks and she likes smelling things. In fact, on walks, she does a lot of smelling of things. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change that into a sentence. I'm going to go right after this period. See, this period is here. My next sentence comes right after it. I'm going to put a spaceman here so I remember to do that. You don't go to a new line when you're writing a new sentence. Here we go. She likes to go on walks and find smelly things. Period. And I'm going to come back here, cross it off, cross it off. I'm not going to use those again. In fact, you could even cross it off right on the number. That way you're not messing up any of the words. I'm going to pause this right now. I'm going to finish writing out my paragraph, and then I'm going to come back to you. But this is basically how you do it. I wrote my 1s into one sentence. I wrote my 2s into the next sentence. I wrote my 3s into the next sentence. And now I'm going to do the next sentence. I'm going to actually finish up the paragraph. So there'll be a little break here, and then I'll have a complete paragraph to show you. Ooh, all right. There was a weird sound in there. Sorry about that, but that's okay. I'm not going back to re-record. So what I've done is I was on 3, and now I'm on. I was on 4. I wrote out the 4 things, and then I wrote out the 5, and then I wrote out the 6 things. As I was writing, I thought of a couple more things to sneak in there, but only a few little details. So now I have a paragraph. Your paragraph may not be this long. It may be a few sentences shorter, and that's okay. What you're aiming for is the topic sentence and about 5 to 7 other sentences. That's all a paragraph is usually about 5 to 7 sentences. They can be shorter, they can be longer, but in 3rd grade we aim for 5 to 7. And I'm going to read it. You're going to notice that I have some words that are not spelled right. In my next video, I'm going to talk about how we're going to do a self-edit on this. And other than that, I'm going to read through this. So if you see anything that doesn't seem right, it's okay. That was on purpose, and it may or may not be on purpose for you. And that's okay. We're just going to reread it to see if it makes sense. I have a pug named Bella. She may have a grumpy face, but she doesn't bark much. She likes to go on walks and find smelly things. She stares at me when she needs food or water. She likes to lay on my legs or under my blanket. She likes to be warm, so she lays by the fire or in the sunshine. And that's it. That's all your perfect paragraph is going to be. You need to have that much written out today, and make sure that you're skipping lines. And I'm going to talk later about why I put this little weird thing at the front where there's a little big space here. But that's okay. We'll get to that later on. And I've read through it, and I'm good to go. Next time we'll do the next step in this process. writing a perfect paragraph. Have a good day. Looking forward to seeing what you have to write.